Hi, this is Pete May, co-founder of GreenBiz Group, and I'm delighted to be here today with Regina Gray, a Senior Vice President for Family Care Products at Procter & Gamble. Regina, great to have you on GreenBiz Studio today.
Thank you, Pete. I'm glad to be here.
So without going into the whole arc of your career, I see you've been with Procter & Gamble for some time. I'm curious, when you first came into Procter & Gamble, did you imagine how much you'd be working on circular economy or sustainability things?
Well, I've been with the company now for 26 years, and actually, I had the pleasure of interning with us for 2 summers. And I have always loved being in manufacturing. That's where I started my career, and I spent 16 years in our manufacturing site. So absolutely, this is what I love to do. It's what I've wanted to do always with the company, and with the impact that P&G can make to the circular economy, I'm happy to be part of it.
Yeah, and we love that on at GreenBiz. We love it when people come into sustainability from different parts of the community. We love it when somebody says, "I love finance and I loved accounting, but then I really got excited about sustainability and I came in." And similarly, it's great. Not everybody in our field came from manufacturing, so I think that's great and extremely practical. So tell me a little bit about what the focus of your work specifically, what your role is, and then if you could weave in a little bit about, I know circular economy concepts and practices are very important for you. Tell us a little bit about how that plays into your role.
Yep. So as you mentioned earlier, I'm the senior vice president of product supply of our P&G paper business. And our P&G paper business is the one that manufactures Bounty, Puffs, and Charmin. I get the pleasure of leading the organization of wonderful employees that runs the end-to-end supply chain. And we make sure every single day that we ensure the safety and quality of our products to ensure that our consumers can enjoy those and better their lives. If I think about it, what's great about P&G and what we do in product supply is that we are committed to growing that circular economy. We do that in several ways, either through the way that we design our products and our packaging, definitely with the way that we manufacture the products, and with the way that we work with our consumers and expert partners on the end of life of our products.
So what's the toughest piece in that? I know we hear from a lot of our partners that say, big companies, big brands should just be circular. They should get rid of packaging. They waste so much stuff. Yeah, obviously, you're somebody that is in the weeds in actually manufacturing products. Give us a sense of what one or two really tricky and difficult but important things practices around circularity for you from a manufacturing perspective.
Well, actually, it is very tricky. If you think about our manufacturing process, we've got to do the work to design in circular economy thinking in the way that we operate. In our paper plants, all of our plants are zero manufacturing waste to landfill. And we had to go through a lot of work to accomplish that, to make sure that the byproducts that come from our process have a different life versus going into the landfill. One of the examples is one of our facilities, sends the short fibers that come from our process, and we actually send it to a company that uses it for pet bedding. So we take the time to figure out innovative ways to ensure that those byproducts can have another life in another product.
What's the biggest thing that Procter and Gamble in your part of the business has changed relative to the circular economy in, say, the last 5 years? In other words, what you're doing now that you didn't do 5 years ago?
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily 5 years ago. I would say, maybe 10 to 15 years ago, we weren't necessarily designing that into our packaging and into our products. And today, we know we reach 1 billion of consumers every single day, and we have the responsibility to use our innovation and our brand's influence to design that into our products, in particular to keep plastic waste out of nature. So in our paper business, which I said before, we make Bounty, Puffs, and Charmin. We are developing thinner, stronger packaging that uses less material. In particular, which is really cool for us, we had an innovation that went from using one thick layer of poly to now we use 7 thinner layers of poly. That resulted in a stronger package, but it also uses less materials. And so those are the things that we're doing today is we are actually designing that into the product in the way that we do it.
That gives us a good sense of today. Give us a sense of tomorrow for circular economy as it will be practiced by your group within Procter & Gamble. What will you look at in 5 years and say, we used to do it this way, but 5 years from now we're going to be doing, we've made this quantum leap. In what area would that be?
Well, I think that the big area for us is ensuring that we can influence the end of life of our products. We're working with partners to ensure that we're able to enable the reuse and recycling of our products at our home and across the communities. In particular, we're clarifying to our consumers how, where, and what actually to recycle. One way that we're doing that is we're putting the How to Recycle label on our products, particularly in Bounty and Charmin packages, as well as ensuring that our consumers know that our puff boxes, our tissue boxes, are recyclable in our current residential curbside programs. We're also partnering with Beyond 34. I think really within the US, the baseline of recycling is extremely low, 34%. So we're working with that partnership to improve that, to make sure that we can increase the recycling systems across the US.
Yeah, well, that's great. And my last question is really bringing this up a notch. It's great you talked about circular practices at P&G. We've also seen that P&G, like just about every other company out there, has started to put out new ambitions in terms of managing your footprint and your impact, and you're calling it Ambition 2030. Can you tell us a little bit about how circular economy is weighing into what that will look like and how that weaves into Ambition 2030?
So yes, we do have our Ambition 2030 goals. It actually spans a wide range of areas around sustainability, but definitely with respect to circular economy. We really want to make sure that we are focused on designing in the use of more recycled products and ensuring that our products are be able to be recycled easily. We want to make sure as well that we are creating a manufacturing process that has that in mind to ensure that we continue down our goal of having zero waste in manufacturing landfill. And we also want to make sure that we continue those partnerships to ensure end of life. I'm really, really optimistic of what P&G is put forth with respect to our Ambition 2030 goals. I know that we will rise to the occasion to ensure that that is delivered and beyond.
That's great. Well, it's always great to have somebody from the manufacturing side because you really have to deal with the thorny issues of not only a concept on circular economy, but how these things work in practice. So, Regina Gray from Procter and Gamble's, great to have you with us today here today on Green Biz Studio.
All right. Thank you for having me.